So I'd like to introduce you to Web to Banner and to tell you in brief what this application is about. It allows you to work within Webflow, your favorite web design program. And instead of creating websites though, you can now create banner ads, such as the one you see here on the right. Of course, yours will look a lot better. This is just for presentation purposes. But there's a setup guide as soon as you log into Web to Banner. Again, I'm gonna go to the screen here, and if you go to your dashboard, you'll arrive here, and you have a 6-step setup guide. And it's gonna tell you exactly what you need to do. And you also have an accompanying screenshot that will help you as well. And so if we look here, it says create a page for each banner size. You see I've done it here in this screenshot. And this is the better way of doing it because you can visually be able to organize yourself with your pages. Normally this will be web pages, but here we're dedicating this to our different banner ad sizes. And if you look over here, I have home and home copy. This is not very organized, but again, this is just for example purposes. But if you look at this paragraph, it says in your Webflow project, create a new page for each banner size you need. We talked about that. You can name the page anything. Yes, you can name this anything. It doesn't matter. The size is detected from your container dimensions, not the page name. So that's why you can name this anything, because the dimensions of your banner are actually captured from this this div here, this div block that contains all of your content. We're going to talk about this in a second. And you see that I have this set to the width and height here. So we'll talk about how the system Web to Banner can detect the width and height and how it does that in a moment. So one page per banner size, name anything you like, and you can clone our starter template. So this is a template that you can add to your own Webflow account, and it'll help you be able to jump into things a lot faster. Or if you're new to Webflow, you can start here, and I'm gonna click on that, and it goes into the Webflow site to tell you a little bit about Webflow itself, which 9 times out of 10 you're already familiar with it. So when you go to next, add a container and set its size. Okay, so this is where we're going to talk about the size now. Add a div block to the page, which we've already done here in the example. And in the style panel, set its width and height to the your banner dimensions in pixels, 300 by 250. And this is a screenshot showing what that looks like, and that's what it looks like over here. This container is your banner canvas. So anything that you put in here, which I have a div block here, is what's going to be in the output. And I have some custom code embedded here, which is basically some GSAP code here. So that's all that is. And use fixed pixel values, not percentages or auto. So make sure that these are all pixels. And of course, the UI looks a little bit different over here, but make sure that this is always going to be pixels. And let's go to next. Add the data banner root attribute. So data banner root is the most important attribute we have. And basically it allows the Web to Banner application to find this banner in your zip in your zip file. So once I go to my add div, which you can name this anything as you want. You don't have to name it add, but once I select this and I go to my settings and I go to my attributes, I will want to put this attribute, which I already have here, data banner root. Don't worry about this one. We'll talk about this in a moment. Data banner root. You don't have to put a value there. It's just looking for this attribute. So once it finds that attribute, it'll know exactly what div to target in order to capture the width and the height. That's what that's all about. So this tells you basically how to do it. Yes, we have the screenshot here. Only one data banner root per page. So we're talking about the pages over here. We have pages here. In the other screenshot, we show all the different sizes. You only can have one attribute of data banner root per page. Okay. So it says, want to make many versions of this banners? Tag swappable elements and upload a CSV to generate dozens of variations from one design. So should we talk about this now, or should we go back, or should we do this simple version here first? Let's do the simple version first. We'll come back to this, but this is a way for you to, instead of having just different pages dedicated to different sizes and exporting those as being your only banners, you actually can set those up as templates to where you can create multiple versions based on a single page. So we'll talk about that in a moment too, because most of the time banners are going to come in flocks. They're not going to come in just a few. So let's go to the next page. We'll come back to that though. Design your banner inside of the container. So add your images, text, buttons, shapes, and layouts inside of the banner container. Everything inside the banner root element becomes your finished banner ad. So we know what our banner root element is. It's this div called add, and now I'm putting all of my content inside of that. Has to be there inside of here, the add, or inside of this root element here, the data banner root. And so it says keep the total design under 150K for Google compliance. So this requires you to make sure that the assets that you add inside of this data banner root element shouldn't be higher than 150 KB, and usually that comes in the form of images and things like that and fonts. So click tracking. So Web Banner automatically injects Google compliant click tags into every banner. You set your landing page URL in Google Ads after uploading. So this is something that you really don't have to worry about. You just upload it to your Google Ads and you can just set your landing page destination there. But looking at the screenshot again, it says data banner root is the entire banner itself, and everything contained in it becomes the banner. So let's go to our next stage. Add animations with GSAP custom code. So for animations, go to page settings, custom code before the body tag. So we can do that here. Let's go to before the body tag. This is where you put your custom code. Let's say, so paste your GSAP animation timeline there. Use or your custom code, use a Google hosted GSAP URL so it doesn't count against your file size. I've already included a link here so you can access those. Important, do not use Webflow's native interactions panel, classic interactions, or the visual GSAP interactions. These rely on Webflow.js, which is excluded from the output to keep file sizes within Google's blah, blah, blah. Well, this is what Web Banner does. It strips the zip file from having all these extra things like Webflow.js, which boost up the file size. So it keeps it very small. But notice it says do not use the native interactions. That means these interactions over here or any GSAP interactions that are native to Webflow. Use custom code. Custom, similar to what you see in the screenshot over here. Only GSAP added via custom code with a linked library will work. Or if you don't want to use GSAP, you just vanilla JavaScript, you can just use that too as well. So whatever you like to. So here are some GSAP docs. They're very helpful. If you are not familiar with GSAP, a lot of people like it, so I've included it, and I'm actually including part of this tutorial because I love it myself. But now let's go to step 6. Export and upload. Close this out here. Go to your Webflow settings, go to export code, and click prepare zip, then download it. So that's going up here and exporting the code. Well, what's this going to do? It's going to export my entire site, which includes my different pages here, which will be named accordingly. On your side, it'll be named accordingly. Sorry, I was lazy. I didn't do it here. But it will export both of these pages and their corresponding banner ads that are inside of them, like so. And let's see, and add a CSV if you wanted version output. This process takes under 30 seconds. Your output is automatically minified, HTML, CSS, and JS for the smallest possible file size. Your output is a production ready Google Ads. That is the goal. Now, when it talked about the CSV here, don't worry about that. That's talking about what we mentioned earlier. That I'm going backwards a little bit. this section here, and I'm gonna talk about that in a moment. Let's go to 6 again. It says test your banner with add validify. So once you've exported your zip file and you've uploaded it to Web to Banner, and you've compressed it and stripped it and everything like that, you can test your banner here. This will let you know if there's any issues. And a validator note: jQuery and backup image warnings can be ignored. Google Ads accepts both. So when you do your testing, you might see these come up as red flags. You can ignore those. You don't have to worry about that. And now we have a corresponding screenshot over here, how to export your code and uploading to Web to Banner and where to go to do that. So this is actually, Web to Banner dashboard is actually where we're at right now. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna go to export code and just prepares a download. So now let's see here. There we go. I'm going to show you this. This is the zip I just downloaded, and I'm just going to name this something shorter. Name takes after whatever I named this my site, but I've just renamed it here. And we're going to talk about CSV sheet in a minute. So I'm going to go to done. There we go. Now we can go into uploading to Web to Banner. So we'll go here and click on Web to Banner and open. And I'm going to upload and process this. Processing. And while it's processing, oh, it's already done. So actually it says, I just wanted to say, you can always hit clear all if you want to empty your projects here. But under Web to Banner, you have summer promo red, summer promo gray. This corresponds to the files that I have inside of my ad here. So if I click on my ad, and that's where we get this data banner name from: summer promo red and summer promo gray. That's the data banner name attribute. So we're going to talk about attributes a little bit more so, but that's where that's being pulled from, and it shows me my compressed size. This is what it will be in the as it's zipped, and that will be uploaded to the Google Display Network. Now, if I click preview, we get a preview of both banners, and I have my GSAP animation applied to it. And I can replay it. If it was an animation that was playing something, I can replay it here. And I can cancel out of this, and that's done. So now I can just download my zip file over here so you can see exactly what this is. So you can see the original zip was 138 kilobytes, which included both banners, but what we're really looking for is inside of it, we have our individually zipped files, 69 KB, as it said here. Well, a little bit more. And that's because of how sectors are when it comes to previewing your banner size on your computer versus seeing it here. So you can don't worry about that. It's only a small difference. So this is ready to upload to your Google Display Network, but also run it through the ad testing link that I showed you earlier if you want to double check things. Okay, so now we're going to talk about CSV. CSV, this spreadsheet here. So I'm going to move this out the way. Let's go to spreadsheet. This is if you want to create versions and you want your banner to serve as a template instead of a version. It's like, just a standalone version, sorry. Right now you saw that what I just exported was just standalone versions, but now I can easily turn this into a template just by adding data attributes to it. So let's go back to the setup guide. This will help us to be able to follow along this a lot easier. So learn more. Here it says you can use Webflow banner as a template for many ad versions by tagging swappable elements, blah, 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 blah. Let's go for number one, tag swappable elements in Webflow. In Webflow, select an element you want to swap, a headline, image, button. In the settings, add a custom attribute, add slot with a value naming the slot like headline, image, CCA. The name you pick becomes a column header in your CSV. So whatever you name your element in with this data dash slot attribute, you have to have a corresponding column inside of your spreadsheet that matches. Else it's going to be ignored. So if I have data slot dash headline in my sheet, I need to have a headline column. Or if it's data slot dash subcopy that's tagged to this, I need to have a subcopy column like here. Now, how do we add the data slot attribute? Well, we go to the banner itself and find out whichever banner we want to start with and select the element, go to custom attributes under settings, add the attribute, and here, of course, here I already have it, and I name it data slot and I give it the value. This value again needs to match a column. And that's basically it. You go to the subcopy, you do the same thing, and you can name this anything you want to. You can name it subcopy, you can put you can call it additional copy, whatever you want to name it. Just make sure that the column has the same headline. And so now we got the image here. This is cool. So one thing that's cool about the image is that there's different ways of hosting image. I would host them from a CDN or from a server or something that's not have privacy protection. We're going to talk about that later on in this little tutorial here to the left. But one of the easy things to do is just to use the asset panel here, upload your asset and just copy the link and then paste that for your particular version. And of course I have the image header there. I have guess what, an image value to my data slot. So it knows what to do. So this is serving as a template. It's going to swap out all the imagery that I put in my spreadsheet per row and create different versions of this template here. But let's go down a little bit further here. So we think we kind of covered this pretty well. Build a CSV of versions. That's what I basically showed you over here. And I just kind of did my own. And it says required version ID, size, and campaign. So these are required things here. So optional template if you have same size duplicates. Basically what that's talking about is if you have one template that's called red, but it has two 300 by 250 sizes instead of one, and you're of course there are version 1 and version 2, then you will want to designate what that template name is. So it'll know which template to go by to create both of those versions, those sizes by. That's only if you're going to have like two sizes that are the same within a single template. Then you would do that. So that's why it's optional. Now, slot columns match your data slot names in Webflow. We already talked about that. But now, version ID up here, if we look down here, is the unique name for this row, and it makes that particular row unique as far as why is this version different from the others. So this becomes the inner zip file name. So whatever you name this is what the file name will be for your zip files. Example, whatever you have here, that's what's going to be your file name. And let's see, size. This is the banner dimension. So the web to banner will know which banner to detect by looking at the size. So it has to pass this parameter as well. And that we assigned under the custom attributes. We had the banner dash root, and it's 300 by 250. Well, that's what this column is going to be able to filter out which ads are supposed to be shown. Now let's look at optional columns. Template needed only when multiple web forms. We've talked about that. So here we're talking about something we said earlier about slot columns. You can create anything within your banner ad as being an ad slot. And of course we have data slot here, and we named it subcopy. We can create as many columns as you want for those type of data attributes. And image columns, so we talked about that as well. And how it all connects. Well, the column header in your CSV pairs with a data slot of the same name in Webflow for each row. Matching slot contents gets replaced with a cell value. Now, this is kind of a sum up of what we talked about already, but this is an example of it. So in Webflow, we have the data slot of headline on this H1 element, and the CSV row, we have a matching headline column and a value, and that's what's going to be the version. The output is going to be H1 tag with say 50% today. This is what's going to be in the final HTML output. And so this is the structure. So reference all attributes. These are just kind of a breakdown of the most important one and some optional ones here. Of course, these can be many data slot. So that's basically how you would do that. I'm going to actually show you how I connect with the CSV. So let's upload right now. Let's call this is the, I think this is the one from Webflow. So let's open that one, and let's upload the CSV, and that's the CSV over here. And let's do upload and process. So you're gonna see it's a little bit different than this here, where we just did a single banner preview. Now preview versions, it's a lot different. And we see that the download size is a lot heavier because now we're loading in all the versions from the spreadsheet. And it's telling my slot mappings, everything that's being mapped to the banner ad and all the different campaigns that we're running. Preview, there we go. And we have all of the versions here under the campaigns. You can actually type and filter out or find a campaign particularly that you're looking for, a version ID, or whatever other naming convention that you put inside of your spreadsheet. And this is Doorbusters. So this Doorbusters Black Friday Hero version 1. Black Friday, that's the campaign version 1. Headline is Doorbusters. There's no subcopy, so I didn't need to do that. There's no image, so I didn't need to do that. If you were to put subcopy in the image and there's none in the template, it would just be ignored. So you don't have to worry about any glitches or anything like that. So, and so on and so forth. If I go to version 2, call today, there it is. Version 3, strong start. Let's go to the Springs Hero version 1, 50% off. Let's get started today. So you can see that this template is being, all this copy is being replaced by what's in these rows here. So that makes it very easy. You can replay these and so on and so forth. So once you're done with that, you can just download them. And once you download that, let's take this over here again, and I'm just going to save final files. So this is what I'm going to be delivering. Let's open this up. Got all of my campaigns here, and I got all my versions. There they are, and they're all small. Yep. And there we go. These are all what you'll upload to your Google Display Network. I hope that was very helpful. I did this video almost on the first shot, so I just was trying to get this out here. I'm so excited to be able to get this feature out, and hopefully I'll have a more polished video later. But if you have any questions, please reach out. There's also an AI chat on the website that maybe will help you out with some things. If not, you can email me, or we can set up a call and I can go over things with you one-on-one.